Good morning, friends. The Goods and Services Tax (GST) is back in focus. Rajya Sabha has already passed the GST, and the bill is being discussed in the Lok Sabha. And I think very soon this year, GST will be a fact for the first time, and it will be implemented throughout India as an act. What we have done with this small session is to educate the viewers as to what are the benefits of GST. See, every consumer would like to understand what benefit GST will give. So the whole purpose of this presentation is to give an idea to every consumer what is the benefit that is lying post GST. See, what we have done is that we have tried to explain this concept through a small template. See, the impact differs from category to category, sector to sector, and item to item. What we have tried to do is that we have tried to explain the concept of GST by way of an example. And this example is for a particular item, and that item is manufacturing of a car. The cars are of this kind, that is Honda Accord, Hyundai Sonata, etc. The cars which are in the category of more than 1500 cc and more than 4 meters long. So please focus on this template. See, the first column is regarding all the components that go into the costing. The second column is the assumptions, the present rates of taxes on those components. The third column is what is actually happening on the ground today in the present regime of indirect taxation. What is the costing as of now? So what are those all components that go into the costing? And the fourth column is what actually will happen post GST. What will the impact of GST on the costing of the manufacturing of a car of this kind? So please look into the template. Let us say that the raw material cost is 100. Every manufacturer will add his own margin to cover his operating cost, to cover his selling cost, and also to return some kind of profit to his business. Let us say that margin is 20%. So 20% on 100 becomes 20. See, in the present setup of things, in the present regime of indirect taxation, there is excise duty at a manufacturing level, and the excise duty for this kind of car is 24%, and that 24% on these first two components is 28.80. Budget 2016 has imposed an additional tax of 1% at a manufacturing level on this kind of car, and that comes to 1.20 on the first two components. There is VAT. In the present VAT regime, there is VAT on this kind of car, and that VAT is 12.5% on this kind of car, and that comes to 18.75. And all this put together comes to 168.75, and this is a cost to a dealer. See, what happens in the present setup of things is that the manufacturer sells the car first to a dealer, to a car dealer in the chain, and the car dealer eventually sells it to the ultimate customer, ultimate consumer. So this is the marketing structure as of now for every car manufacturer. The manufacturer doesn't sell the car directly to the consumer, right? So when the manufacturer sells it to the dealer, the cost comes to 168.75, assuming that the raw material cost is 100. So it goes to 168.75. See, all the car dealers, car showrooms, they are all situated in the city, and normally the factories are away from the city. They are in the industrial area normally, and they are far away from the city. And when the car comes inside the city, when it goes to the showroom or the warehouse inside the city, there are local levies. Every municipal corporation in a city levies some local levies. So in Maharashtra at present, the local levy that is levied is called LBT, local bodies taxes. Earlier it was octroi, and then octroi has been abolished by LBT. So at present this LBT on this kind of car is 2%, and this comes to 3.38 on this 168.75. This the dealer will have to add because it is part of his cost, so you will have to recover this cost from the consumer. See, in this, the way the manufacturer has added his own margin to cover his cost, the dealer too will have to add his own margin to cover his selling cost, operation cost, and to retain some kind of business, some kind of profit to his business. Let us assume that this margin of the dealer is 10%, and 10% on these two components comes to 17.21. The dealer, the car dealer, will have to charge VAT at a dealer level, and that VAT at 12.50% is 23.67 on these three components. Fine. So the gross sale price of a dealer to a customer comes to 213. So you can clearly see from 100 it goes to 213. But at the level of a dealer, the dealer retains, there is something called input tax credit that is available with the dealer. See, the dealer pays 18.75 VAT on the manufacturing invoice, and the dealer will and the dealer will have to pay 23.67 VAT when he bills it to a consumer. Now the difference of these two is what is called input tax credit, and this input tax credit on account of VAT is available with the dealer. This is his benefit. So what will happen? What he can do with this benefit? See, there are three ways in which he can make use of this benefit. Either he can retain this benefit as his profit. This is one way. Second way is that he can pass on this benefit to the customer by way of an incentive or a scheme. This is the second way. The third way is he can drop the price itself. The marketing strategy of the car manufacturer can be made in such a way that it ultimately reduces the price of the car for the customer to the tune of this much amount. Since there is a cutthroat competition in automobiles, what normally happens is that this price is the benefit of this input tax credit is given in the price itself. So we presume that this input tax credit is eventually passed down to the consumer. So the price to the customer comes to 208.09. 213 minus input tax credit 4.92 comes to 200.09. So this is the price to the customer. This is the price to the consumer. So assuming that the raw material cost is 100 and taking into account all levies and taxes and the margins at two levels, the manufacturing margin and the dealer margin, the cost to the consumer comes to 208.09. That is, from 100 it goes to 208. It is almost more than double. And when we analyze this price 200.09, we will come to know that the various levies and taxes that are included in the price are, what are the levies and taxes? We have what is called excise duty 20.80, we have additional tax 1.20, we have VAT at a manufacturing level 18.75, and then we have LBT 3.38, and then we have VAT at a dealer level 23.67, and the input tax credit, if it is minus out of it, the total levies and taxes in absolute terms comes to 70.88. Now this as a percentage of this cost, the cost to the customer comes to 34.06. What it actually means is the price to the customer, that is 208.09, includes all levies and taxes to the tune of 70.88 in absolute terms, or 34.06% in percentage terms. Now this is the present scenario, friends. This is what is actually happening on the ground at this moment in time. In the present regime of indirect taxes, this is what is happening. But this is for a car. We can apply this formula for any item, but we have to take into account all that is applicable to that particular category. Now what will happen in the post GST? That is what we wish to understand. That's what we wish to educate the viewer or a consumer. Post GST, all the indirect taxes will have to be abolished. Let us see. Let us assume again that the raw material cost is 100. the manufacturer will have to add his manufacturing margin 20%, which comes to 20. Now all these indirect taxes, see there are some 15 to 17 types of indirect taxes in India. And what will happen post GST? See, GST is a great indirect tax reform. It is a unification of all indirect taxes. So all indirect taxes will dissolve to form one unified indirect tax, and that is what is called goods and services tax or GST. So all the current indirect taxes in the form of excise duty, additional tax, VAT at a manufacturing level, LBT, and VAT at a dealer level, all these will have to be abolished, or whatever kind of other indirect taxes like entry tax, they all will have to be abolished, and there will be only one tax, and what is called is GST. So GST at a manufacturing level, see the current rate is 18%. This is only for all impact purposes, for all calculations. So the GST council, the GST panel is taking 18% for impact calculations. So the actual rate of GST will be informed by the government. It will be published later on once the GST is passed through. The GST council is working on the rates. So a real rate will be informed, but this rate is for all impact calculations. So let us take this rate. So the cost to the dealer comes to 138, and at a dealer level there will not be anything called LBT, as we have seen in the present case. Dealer will add the same kind of margin. Let's say his dealer margin is 10%, and that comes to 13.80 on this 138, and there is again GST at the level of the dealer. Now that GST comes to 27.32 at 18%. So the gross sale price of the dealer to a customer comes to 179.12. But there is again input tax credit on account of GST available with the dealer. This is the difference of the GST paid on the manufacturing invoice and the GST that is to be paid on the dealer invoice. So the difference of these two is the benefit that he retains, which is available with him, is what is called input tax credit. Now this, in the same way, this input tax credit will have to be passed on by the dealer to the customer. After that, the net price to the customer comes to 169.80. So we can very clearly see what is happening at present and what will happen post GST. So these two scenarios we can compare. From 100 in the present scenario, the price to the customer has gone to 208.09, and post GST from 100 it goes to 169.80. So the price drops from 208.09 to 169.80 in the case of a car of this kind. So we can clearly see the price drops by somewhere around 15%. Now when we analyze this price post GST, all levies and taxes which are included in it comes to the GST at the manufacturing level plus the GST at the level of the dealer minus the input tax credit comes to 36, and this in percentage terms comes to 21.20% on the price to the customer. So we can clearly see the price drops from all levies and taxes in the present regime comes to 34% of the cost to the consumer. That comes down from 34% to 21%. So there is clearly a saving of 13%. So this is how post GST the cost price of many items will have to come down because of the benefit. But this is not going to be same in every case. We'll have to see every case, every category. In some cases the price may go up, in some cases the price may come down. So we'll have to see the positive effect on account of GST, and we'll have to see the negative effect on account of GST. This has to be seen from case to case basis. So this template clearly demonstrates the reduction in cost price on account of GST. So this is one major benefit, that is price, the cost to the consumer. Apart from this, let us see what are the other major benefits. See, there are some 5 major benefits available to the consumer on account of GST. And what are those 5 major benefits? One is that all indirect taxes are going to be unified to form into one indirect tax. So the complexity in the current state of things is will diminish, will come down, because there are various kinds of indirect taxes, 15 to 17 in numbers, types, and then there are various challans, various returns, and there are various checkpoints in the whole process. Now, because of this unification, so this unification will result into simplification of all indirect taxes. So the whole indirect taxes regime will be simplified, obviously, because all those 15, 17 types of taxes will be dissolved into one. So that will result into a simplification, and this simplification will lead to ease of doing business. So when there is a ease of doing business, when the ease of doing business improves or goes up, it directly sends signals to the foreign investors, and the foreign investors can think of investing money in India into various manufacturing or services sectors. So this is the second major benefit. The third major benefit is cost reduction, which we have seen, but this we will have to see from case to case, category to category, because it may not be true for all cases. We have seen the example of the car manufacturing, but let us say in the service sector, the current rate of service is somewhere around 15%. Now this service tax rate is going from 15% to 18%. So that clearly indicates that the services are going to be costly. But the government will have to see that because of GST, there should not be an inflation. It should not be inflationary. So the prices of the consumer goods should not shoot up, should not go up drastically. So I think the GST Council will work on this. They will look into every sector, every type of industry, and will take I hope they will take all appropriate actions on the same. So cost reduction is one thing, is the third thing. The fourth thing is that when the cost of a particular item is reduced, that will directly triggers that will directly lead to increase in consumption. So when the cost is reduced, it will lead to increase in consumption, and increase in consumption will lead to increase in revenue for that particular type of item, for that category, for that sector, for that business, for that industry, and that increase in business will lead to increase in GDP of the country. See, the experts say that after the implementation of GST, the GDP of the country may go up by 2%. Hope so. That will lead to increase in GDP. The economy will become further buoyant, and hope the employment rate will go up. The fifth and the last and the most important is that because of GST, there will be reduction in tax evasion. To a great extent, there will be reduction in tax evasion. And one more most important is that there will not be any cascading effect. So these 5-6 are the major benefits that are available to the customer. So the customer will have to see his benefit post GST. So this is a small session that we have done to help the consumer, to help the viewer understand the benefit of GST. Hope you will like this session. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening. Thank you very much, friends.